all she wants to do is dance and make romance. Something about being on the street. Sweet meat. Stop it. Stop it. Did I just say that? I did. Hi, everybody. It's Saturday morning. And I'm here because I was intending to do a show last night, but our daughter, Catalina, finally arrived from Texas. So can I just tell you what a badass my daughter is? She drove all the way from Texas by herself with a cat. Well, I shouldn't say a cat. It's her cat. She loves her cat. I loved my cat when Mittens was here. All my cats, I love my cat. And her car was packed. She pretty much did that all by herself. And she is now living full-time in Massachusetts, which is phenomenal because it's only not even an hour away. Without traffic, it's less than an hour. So I am thrilled. I was actually going to go to Dallas. She wasn't living in Dallas. She was living in Waco. I was supposed to go in a few days, actually. I had a plane ticket booked. We were going to hang out for a few days, and I don't have to do that anymore. So I do have a credit on Southwest Airlines, just saying. And I'm trying to think of somewhere for Kat and I to go near the end of this year. We are thinking we might take a little cruise, a little teeny one, and just tear it up and have a blast. So to say I'm excited and happy and Al is feeling the same way is an understatement. We're happy to have her home, back to her roots. And the cool thing is she got a great job. I won't say the name of the place yet until she starts, but really, did you hear that? That thing that just came up through my throat? That was weird. Probably because I'm drinking my coffee. This is my second large cup of coffee, just saying. She has got a great job at a place. They have a few different locations, and she's beyond psyched. I'm so psyched because now we get to go to Boston more often. So that's a great excuse. And I'm very proud of her. So like I said, we're just totally psyched. She's back on the East Coast. We do not have to hop on a plane anymore to see her. Al was just out there in December. But this whole thing happened so quickly, and it was meant to be, which is fabulous. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hello. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kiki. We have a fabulous online internet streaming radio station called Kiki.fm, free of charge. It's crazy. All you got to do is download the app in the App Store. Listen to it 24/7. Al is constantly changing music around. I'm like, why? Leave it alone. It's so good. Just don't touch it. But he does. He plays with it all the time, adding things, taking things out, but it sounds great. It's just all the hits, really. We haven't even just focused on classic rock anymore because we like it all. We like disco, we like dance, we like Madonna, we like, Def Leppard. We like all of it. So why not just play all of it? So everything on here is what we like, and hopefully you like it too. It is very rainy here in Rhode Island. We have had a beautiful week, really, weather-wise, but because it's Saturday, it's going to rain. And it's pouring because it's Saturday, and I was supposed to go yard sailing today. However, of course, that didn't happen. I'm going to move my chair a little bit. And we have not really had any yard sale days. We did have one. We went last weekend and we tore it up. I actually have to plant my bulbs. So went to a few yard sales. They were terrible. And the last one we hit, I'm like, they have yard sales all the time, these people. And it's not really, you drive by and you're like, that's not really stuff I want. You know what I mean? Like, we know what we want. We're picky. We're picky yard sailors. Sue and I, my friend Sue. Hi, Sue. And we're like, let's just stop because there's nothing going on. So let's just get out of the car. And guys, let me tell you. So I got Al a pretty brand new pair of Harley Davidson sunglasses. I got a pair of Harley Davidson glasses. I paid $5 for the two pair. They're perfect. I mean, you're not going to get that deal anywhere unless you're at a yard sale. So we're looking around and they had brand new bulbs, for the garden For $1 a package. Shut up. I got 22 boxes of bulbs. Yes, a bunch of them are tulips, but they're cool tulips. I know tulips are going by now, but it's fine. I'm going to plant them. Next year, I'm going to have a crap ton of tulips, and I'm excited. But I also got, there's a strawberry plant in there, some really cool stuff, peonies. I mean, just beautiful things for $1, all brand new in the packet. Like, how do people do this? So I was excited. So you drive by things and you go, it's not going to be good. That looks gross. No, just get out of the car. Just do it. Just do it. So, again, do not judge a book by its cover is so true. So true. All right, let's see. Hey, Scott, how are you? He said Kat picked a great state to move to, didn't she now? She's in Foxborough, not too far from Gillette Stadium. And I got to tell you, Al and I are just stoked because we love going to Massachusetts. And Kat said, well, why don't you just move here where I live? Very nice apartment complex, by the way. We're driving in going, this is so nice. This is so nice. And the pool is gorgeous. The clubhouse, beautiful. And you go, no one uses these things. 100%. No one was in the clubhouse. Pool table, I don't know, the thing you push the things on the table and nobody was there. Beautiful fireplace, all kinds of things going on. So I know where I'm going to be on my days off. Absolutely. And everything's close by to her. Everything. Like she doesn't need to go anywhere but work and home. Great complex to walk around and just, I don't know. She picked a great spot. We're totally excited. Just so happy for her. And the fact that this kid, she's not a kid, she's a grown woman, people. She did it all by herself. And, you got to give her props. I said, listen, she's like me in some ways and like Al in other ways. Like last night, she didn't want to stop. I'm like, dude, we got to go home and go to bed. We're exhausted. We helped her get everything out of her car. Great, because it's pouring rain today. And she had things on the top of her car, not open. She had them packed really nice. I don't know how she did it. So we wanted to help her get everything in. We're glad we went up. Al made the call. He's like, listen, we're going up. I said, all right, let's go. And I'm so happy we're able to get up there to help her. Ordered some takeout. Of course, that was an arm and a leg. Like, how do people do it? How do people live anymore? She goes, I don't want any more McDonald's. Like she was zooming. This kid, like I said, she did this all herself. Give her so much credit. But she basically just stopped. She made herself some food for the trip. And she just made quick stops to get here because she had to get here by a certain time yesterday to get her keys to the apartment, or else she starts her job Monday. So, I mean, it's like she was on a time crunch, but she did it. And I don't know, man. I don't know. She's got a lot of balls for a girl. I'm just telling you. I'm just proud of that kid. But anyway, so hello, Kathy. And Scott says, I'll be at Gillette next Sunday for AC/DC. Oh, that's going to be a good one. I heard that's a great show. Good for you. So I would love to go see AC/DC next weekend with Kat. But you know what? Here's the thing. Kat and I are going to end up doing a bunch of things together. But she's got to settle in. This is going to be her first week at her brand new job. Even though she's got the energy of the Energizer Bunny, I got to let her just... And then we're going to just start going ham hog and doing things that, just to have fun, just to enjoy our lives. And she's definitely the kid I would love to do it with because she loves she's down for anything. She's like, you know what? Let's have fun. So it's great. It's just greatness. That's all I can say. And I'll say more. I'll be saying more. But anyway. So hello again. Happy Saturday. If you're new here, please hit the like button for me. I appreciate it very, very much. YouTube loves that. And hit the subscribe button if you like joining in, with a bunch of great people here. Really. Everybody's just awesome. And we have a good time when we do these lives. For those of you who don't know, I just go on, I read these articles and I haven't read them before. I'm just reading them. I'm reacting to them. I'm reading them live here. I don't dig into the information because that's the fun of not knowing about what I'm looking at. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you like that type of thing, again, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and let's go ahead and let's see what is going on. Hello, Tanya. How are you? Tanya sent me a nice birthday message the other day. Thank you so, so much, Tanya. I greatly appreciate it. And Patty Taylor and, Roberta. Can I just tell you something about her? So Roberta was with us for Easter and her husband, Alex. I love them. Well, I made a ham. I made a ham in the crock pot. Now, I'd never done this, never did a ham in the crock pot. I watch TikTok, as I do, to get my fabulous recipes. I put brown sugar on the bottom of the crock pot, plopped the ham in. I had to chop off a bit at the top of the ham and lay it on the side because it didn't fit in the crock. It just barely fit, so I cut off the top. And then you pour more brown sugar on top of the ham and you cook it on low for 8 hours. Guys, best friggin' ham I ever ate. I got to tell you. And it's literally two things, brown sugar and your ham. And you do nothing. You just put it in the crock pot and that's it. And you forget about it and you go eat it. It is like candy. It was so good. So Roberta's husband's like, what are you going to do with that ham bone? Kind of give me the side eye. And I'm like, well, I'm going to throw it out because he goes, well, don't you make pea soup? And then he's like, like, no, I don't know how to make pea soup. He goes, well, guess what? I want your bone. I said, okay, you can have my bone with whatever ham scrappings are on it. Guys, Roberta made the best freaking pea soup I have ever had in my life. She gave us 4 containers. I only let Al have 1. I have been eating pea soup for the past 3 days. It was absolutely out of this world. So if you're not a pea soup maker and you're going to make yourself a ham, get a ham with a bone in it and then make pea soup because it is so good. I got to figure it out. It's so good. Like I want pea soup again. I just want to eat pea soup every single day now. So thank you again, Roberta and Alex. It was so good. So, so good. Janice, how are you? Missed that it was your birthday. Hope it was awesome. It definitely was. And I appreciate that very, very much. So let's go ahead. Let's just get into, we got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about here. And I'm thinking as I'm getting ready this morning, I'm going, I feel like even though we don't talk about retirement with rock stars a whole bunch, I mean, it comes up, it feels like every single week, but I'm like, I feel like a retirement classic rock channel now. Like, oh, so-and-so is retired. Like Rod Stewart says he's retiring. I'm not talking about him today because I said I can't. I've got to go against the grain and not talk about who's retiring because I feel like that's all there is to talk about with the people you and I love. So it's not right, and I'm not going to do it. But Rod Stewart says he's retiring. He's what, 80, 81? I don't know how old the guy is. He looks freaking fabulous. But like, duh, of course he's going to retire at some point. But he could just go on and on and on. He doesn't need to retire. Frankie Valli. Engelbert Humperdinck is coming to Bally's Twin River in Rhode Island. Now, listen, Al told me that, and I'm going, Engelbert Humperdinck, I didn't even know he was still around. I'm just sad. Like, and forgive me, I didn't know he was still like here. I didn't know he was like here. I'm sorry, Engelbert, but I didn't. And then he's on TikTok, right? And I'm like, dude, he looks so good. I mean, granted, I know he's dyeing his hair. If that's his hair, I don't know. But he still looks great. Does he sound good? I don't know. I haven't listened to him. But that's an icon right there. And Al used to play every freaking wedding after the lovin', like after dinner, after the lovin', to get the people, like the older folks on the dance floor, and they'd be all like slow-ish dancing to Engelbert Humperdinck's After the Lovin'. So I'm like, I gotta go see Engelbert. Like, you gotta go see him. And he's what, 89, I think. So you got him, you got the Frankie Valli thing, drama that's always going on. Like, is Frankie singing? Is he not singing? Is someone forcing Frankie Valli allegedly to be on stage to make money? I don't freaking know. But, this is what we got. We got it. This is our life, and I just don't want to. I just want to talk about You can't talk about fun things all the time. You have to talk about some things that are just not fun. We've done that, but it can't always be about retiring. It just can't. Poor Ozzy. We're talking about him in a few minutes, but geez, like poor guy, right? Oh, like it's frighteningly sad. You just feel so bad. But anyway, okay, so let's go on to the first story. Now, the Go-Go's were at Coachella. We talked about Coachella, the festival in California. We talked about it last week. And it's expensive. I guess this year's Coachella was a complete SHIT show because people were waiting 12, 13 hours in the traffic line to get in. I mean, I could never. I apologize. No, I don't. I would never do that. I'm not waiting to get into a restaurant. I'm not waiting to get into anything, basically. Except, listen, if you go to a concert, you got to wait till they scan your ticket. That's about it. That's all I got. I don't want to wait for things because I am in that generation too of I need it now. I need it yesterday. But I also have patience for things. I'm not making any sense, but I don't care. So the Coachella festival, I guess, was just, I mean, there were a lot of highlights, good ones. Lady Gaga, she blew everybody away with her production. And I mean, people have their feelings about her now because of her political views and all of that. But putting that aside, as I always say, can we just take the political stuff and move it over here? And let's focus on her as an artist. And I love her as an artist. I truly do. I love her music. I think she's very, extremely uber talented. It's Lady Gaga. You can't go wrong with Gaga. She's an actress. She does this. She's so smart. Like, it's sick. But anyway, so her performance was nuts. But, and this is where I say, listen, our music was the absolute pinnacle of our lives, I think, right now. I think our generation, 70s and 80s music, some 70s music, like 70s rock jamming, and some, 70s songs, okay? I'm not like, we're talking Doobies, we're talking Journey, we're talking Fleetwood Mac, things like that, greatness. But my hyper focus, my life was really in the 80s. Okay, that's when I was a teenager. That's when I was out making trouble. That's when my life was being lived by myself. So I am really into the 80s stuff. Now, I've also been noticing, and I have to start making a log, a lot of commercials right now are featuring artists that we love and their music. And I'm curious about that, like from 70s and 80s. And at Coachella, big thing, the Go-Go's were at Coachella. Did you know that? And these ladies are just fabulous. So let's go ahead. Now, they performed at Coachella. What date? I don't know what date. We'll probably see it in the next article. But I think it was April 11th. Let's see. They played, of course, their hits. They did. And on that particular day, Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day was performing on the first weekend. But then when it got to the Go-Go set list, Vacation, Tonight, Lust to Love, This Town, Our Lips Are Sealed, Skid Marks on My Heart. That's funny. I'm just thinking of Dirty Underwear. Why? And We Got the Beat. Of course they played that. They played We Got the Beat. I mean, that's a big one. Oh, and Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day joined the Go-Go's on stage while they played Head Over Heels. Where did I go? I didn't know. I mean, great song. And Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters was in the VIP section while the Go-Go's performed. I mean, because the Go-Go's are great. And let's see. So this article Let me go ahead and chat with you guys. Oh, of course it. For goodness gracious. And then it takes it away because I got out of an ad. So then they took my article away. I can't. Help me help you. And then did you know that you have to put in the GoGo's into Google or else you're not going to get anything. And when you do that, it says that they're the most successful all-female rock band of all time, which I didn't know. Because then Heart comes to mind, but I mean, they're considered a rock band, no? They're a duo, they're sisters, they're females. I guess. So is this the article I was looking at? Let's see. Okay, we'll just use this one. Let me go ahead. I don't want to subscribe. I don't want to. I'm not paying $60 a year for that. Okay, so hold on. The GoGo's are back again. And let me make sure you guys can see it. Yes, you can. So this is from the LA Times. The GoGo's are back again, still real, raw, and ready for Coachella and Cruel World. So this is before they performed. This article came out. And Gina Shock, she's 67. She is the band's drummer. Let's see, she missed the band's shows in LA because she had health issues and she had to have surgery on her thumb. And she had to have 3 vertebrae fused together in her neck. Ow. Oh my gosh, that's horrendous. And with this change of weather, can I tell you, oh my back. Oh my aching back. It's been like, wow. Happens every change of season, body parts go awry. Do you not feel that? Is it just me? Maybe. I don't know. So Gina Shock said that she is really healthy and she was looking forward to getting the band going at a performance at the Roxy on Wednesday and then Friday. And on April 18th, they were at Coachella. So their dates on the road wrap up at the Cruel World Festival in Pasadena on May 17th. And let's see. That Lady Gaga was there. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. They're at Cruel World. I don't know who that is. I just don't know. And it says the Go-Go's bridged the gap between the pop leanings of Gaga and the LA punk scene that shared similar sensibilities with Cave's early work with the Birthday Party. I don't know what that is. So 4/5 of the band reunited for a rehearsal in LA in mid-February. That left Gina pumped up. She said, I was very excited to be playing because I've been practicing for months. I haven't played with the band for 8 years. What? She was out of the band for 8 years? Excuse me. Does anybody know why? I literally didn't know that. But again, the Go-Go's really haven't been in the news to follow them. And have they been out performing? Help me, because I don't know. Maybe they weren't, because then it goes on to say the Go-Go's have reunited from time to time. So they weren't on the road. That's why I didn't know. And in 2016, they staged what was billed as a farewell tour, leaving the door open to occasional future live dates, but no more full tours. Here's the thing, and I like that. I like that they said that, and they're living true to that. We're going to do some shows, but we're not giving you a tour. We're just telling you up front. But, we're open to having some fun here and there on stage. That's good. And I feel like, when you've been out there for so long and you had your pinnacle back in the day, it's great. Touring has got to be difficult. So the last time they played something comparable to Coachella was at Rock in Rio in Brazil back in January of 1985, when they were just hot. They were smoking. But it says the band was on their last legs at that time. They exploded out of the LA club scene. They got a record deal with IRS Records. And then they hit the top of the charts in 82 with their debut album, Beauty and the Beat. And that had Our Lips Are Sealed and We Got the Beat on it. And it remains the only album by an all-female band that plays their own instruments to top the Billboard album chart. Really? What about the Runaways? But see, the Runaways, let's just, backpedal to them for a second. All-female band, really, they kind of started all of that, right? Let's think about it. Can't really go back to Motown days because we had a lot of female groups, but they weren't bands playing their own instruments. But the Runaways, I think they got a crappy deal because people just didn't want to give them a shot. They were fabulous. They were great, but they just didn't want to. It's like they were blocked. I don't want to say the word to go in front of it, but they were C blocked. You know what I'm saying? Because they were girls. But the Runaways could have had that for sure. So by 1985, they had two more successful albums, Vacation and in 1984, Talk Show. But the band was falling apart due to jealousy over songwriting credits, compensation, substance abuse, and mismanagement. That's what this article says from the LA Times. And Jane Wiedlin, she hit a collaboration with Sparks. I don't know who Sparks is, on the song Cool Places in 1983. She left in 84. So Kathy Valentine, remember her? She slid over to guitar. And then the band brought in Paula Jean Brown to play bass for their two sets at the Rock in Rio Festival, which had over 250,000 people each day. That's 250,000 people. Insane. Do festivals get that many people anymore? Like, I don't know what the number was for Coachella, but I pretty much can assure you it wasn't 250,000. Let me see. Let's look it up now, because then I'm going to eat my words if it was. But I just feel like the ticket prices are so high. There's no way people are going to do that. Let's see. So attendance numbers at Coachella. I put in Coachella 2025. 125,000 attendees each day over its 2 weekends. So that's half. And it says this translates to a total attendance of approximately 250,000 over the entire festival period. But Rock in Rio had 250,000 people a day. So that just shows you over, the course of a bunch of decades, it dwindled to half the amount of people because the cost went up so much. And let's see. So, okay. Well, we won't get into all of that. Okay, that's great. So the most private go-go cafe. Who's cafe? Charlotte Cafe. Guitarist, songwriter Charlotte Cafe stayed in Brazil for a week. So she's the most private go-go, doesn't have social media. Good for her. She's not on social media. And she said, the worst possible thought in my mind is having people following me. She said in an interview that she started with her camera off. She went on to say, I always loved writing the songs and performing, but I didn't love all the stuff, like the fame. I'm not that public person. I love looking at what the other girls are doing. I find out when we're not working together. I look at their socials and I'm like, oh, that looks really fun. I'm just more private. That's going to be the hard thing when, let's see, where is she? Oh, it doesn't say like the lineup. That's the thing about fame, right? You gotta like, oh, I don't want to be in the spotlight, but like you have a number one song and you're all over social media, but you don't want to be in the spotlight. That's going to be hard. Who's that artist? Sia. She would perform with her hair in front of her face, but yet, her songs are worldwide famous number one, like multi-million person following, whatever. I think she doesn't do that anymore though with her hair in front of her face. She performs like you can see her now. So that's gonna be it's gonna be weird. You know, you get famous. You didn't think you were gonna get famous, but you gotta think you're gonna get famous. If you start in a band, right? You're a musician, you're an actor, actress. I mean, I would think personally, and in my mind, your goal is to get famous. Your goal is to be known around the world. Your goal is to get rich and famous. What's his name? Robin Leach. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. I used to watch that. I did. Did you guys watch it? I did. Totally. And I think Belinda Carlisle is probably the most, and I don't want to say it like, but the most successful go-go in terms of she had a solo career, really good one. And, I'm sure she did very well for herself post go-go. Heaven is a Place on Earth, I Get Weak, Mad About You. I mean, she had some pretty great singles there. And let's see. Is this her saying it? If it wasn't for the Go-Go's, I wouldn't have a solo career. That's just a fact, and I know that. She says in a Zoom interview from Mexico City, this has got to be Belinda. The whole story of it even happening is something that I think is extraordinary. I'm really proud of that because we worked really hard. The band happened against all odds. And you just don't know. You just don't know. You get out there, you try to get famous, you're perfecting your craft, and then, boom. It's luck of the draw, I think. Sometimes. Sometimes I really do believe that, when people get famous, they're in the right place at the right time, and that right person sucks them in and helps them out and gets them to the top. Carol Jean, how are you? She said, I'm cleaning as I listen. If I don't respond, that's why. Good for you. No, I don't wish I was cleaning right now. I'd rather be doing this, to be quite honest. Cleaning is a hassle, but you got to do it. And, it takes a day every week. You got to get in there and just, I want one of those O-Cedar mops. Do any of you have those with the fabric thing? But then supposedly you can't really wash them or something. You got to buy a replacement. I don't freaking know. And then they've got these nice smelling things on TikTok Shop. Oh, your house will smell like a hotel. I don't know. Is all you get sucked into that too. But anyway, moving on to, hey Gina Thomas, what's going on, girl? Hope you're doing good. Did I miss anybody? Patty Taylor, hello. Thank you so much. Barry, welcome to the Nutty Crew. Barry. We are the Nutty Crew, but the great Nutty Crew. Penny McGuire, how are you? Hi, Kiki. Belated birthday wishes from here in England. Thank you so much for being here, Penny. You were talking of rock stars retiring. Lou still hasn't. I don't think he will. Great to see you back on. Thank you so much. I don't think Lou is going to either, no matter how many times he says it. He's not gonna. And you know what? We're happy about it. We are okay. Kathy says, I'm eating breakfast in my jammies with a cat on my leg. Good for you. Oh, gosh. Oh, Gina, thank you so much. Gina, woot woot goes right to keeping us on the air because we are, I keep saying it, grassroots operation here, kids. So thank you so much, Gina, for helping to keep us on the air a little bit longer. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to everybody for being here, supporting, listening, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, all the fun stuff. Thank you. And, moving on to the Go-Go's, a little bit more here about the Go-Go's at Coachella. Well, actually not about the Go-Go's, but about the food cost at Coachella. So this is from people.com. We might as well share this screen. We can share this one, shan't we? We'll share it. We'll do that. So let's share it. Go back, make sure you can see it. Yes, you can. So Coachella attendees stunned by festival's diabolical food and drink prices. Miserable money trap. And like I said, last night, so I got some takeout. We didn't get much. It was $100. But I wanted Kat to have something, and it was such a last minute planned event going up there. I didn't have time to cook her anything, or else I would have. But holy macaroni. The food was decent, but damn, $100. That's what it is, right? You go out to eat today, $100. Everything seems it's $100. No more 20, 30, 40, even 50. $100. That's the new bar standard. You're spending $100. How many times can I say $100? I've said it 10 times now. But that's what it is. And you go to, you guys go to a concert, right? What I try to do is have food beforehand so that we don't have to eat there. And maybe get one drink, right? That's it. Because the drinks are double what you're going to pay somewhere else. And anything like a festival or, now you get all these summer events that'll be happening, which is so cool. But you're gonna get the upcharge for them. So let's see. People attending the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival are stunned once again about the food prices, and many festival goers, they're turning to social media to let everybody know how expensive everything is. And you have videos shared on TikTok, which I have not watched. Coachella attendees showed off what they ate and how much they paid for their meals or individual items. TikToker Ruth Viveros shared in an April 11th video that she spent $102 on 2 plates of 3 tacos, a plate of loaded nachos, and 2 lemonades. Each lemonade was $17 per cup. Can you freaking imagine? I can't imagine, because Al and I went to the Big E a couple of years ago, and listen, Big E, Scott, forgive me. Great thing, right? And it was fun because we went to see Styx in the pouring rain. I would go back for a concert there for sure. But the cost of everything was insane. And people are walking around, and there's always videos because people go, they buy stuff, buy food to eat, and then film videos and put them on TikTok, and they get tens of thousands of views on it. But going there to pay for overpriced fried foods, I just, and you got to pay to get in too. That's the whole thing. You got to pay for admission. So I don't know. I mean, you got to do something, right? I think going and paying the price of admission just to say, listen, I'm going to go walk around and then I'm going to see the show. That's fine. But to walk around and fully make a day of eating and drinking, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. That's me though. And they're saying lemonade, $17 a cup, which is a complete disastrous ripoff. That's you buy 2 lemonades, that's $34 for water, lemon, and sugar. And how big were the cups? There was actually a food truck at the yard sale we just did recently at the Coventry Community Center here in Rhode Island. And, there was a lemonade truck. She was selling lemonade. I did get one for Al and I after the event was over, and I paid $7. It was a large cup though, but even $7 to me is like a lot for lemonade. However, I know they got their cost, the cup and the lid and the big fat straw, which, and she put her label on it. So cost of goods and the product inside of the cup had to be costing her, I'm thinking $2 a cup. So she's making $5 a cup. You got to sell a lot to make a profit. But when, you're talking about $17 per cup for lemonade, that is outrageous. Outrageous. And Ruth said they're not even good. Not good at all. She said of the tacos, the tortillas are like freezing cold. So you're paying and you're getting crap. No fun. No bueno. Don't like it. TikTok commenters were quick to criticize festival organizers for the food prices, saying that they were diabolical. and saying there were limited options attendees had while being out in the California desert. And that's another thing. Like, you're planning to go, either you're a VIP and you're getting backstage and access to all of these celebrities' food, or you're getting what everybody else is getting out in the wild. And that's what it sounds like it was. It was the wild, wild Coachella West. Coachella seems like a miserable money trap that everyone falls for, one person said underneath her video. Another video shared by TikToker Frugal Jimmy showed off a particularly pricey slice of pepperoni pizza that came out to $13, which he joked was not too bad. Listen, if it's not bad and you're freaking hungry, I guess it's fine. What are you going to do? But remember, you're spending money on gas. You're spending money on price of admission. What? $500, $700 just to get in the door. And Frugal Jimmy said, I honestly thought it would be a lot more for a big slice of pizza, adding that it was still a good slice of pie. So good. And let's see. Most items start at $15 to $20. Meals are like $20 to $30. Another person wrote, it's $30 for Nate's Nashville hot chicken slider and fries. LMAO. And Coachella's website said, our food program features new and exciting restaurants from coast to coast, as well as your favorite staples, offering a wide variety of cuisine that pleases any festival goer. Vegan and gluten-free options available. And I'm sure the gluten-free options and vegan options were probably triple in price because, as we all know, gluten-free anything costs double at the grocery store. So there, it's probably going to be triple. Yeah. And let's see, general admission, just to get into Coachella, started at $649. 2 weekend tickets currently going for $599. Prices go up from there, and festival goers can purchase shuttle bus tickets, VIP passes, and of course, many more things to upgrade your hot experience. And it also costs extra to pay for parking, whether you are camping or driving there. You know, listen, I'm not opposed to a good festival. I should be, like, as long as it's done properly, I think another Woodstock type of thing would be great. But I think Woodstock 99 was an SHIT show. From what I read, the Fire Festival sounds like this year Coachella, had its problems. It's got to be done right. But people like the open air, experience of listening to great music. And hey, Deej, how are you, DG? Everyone, please hit the like button. I have 4 likes. I mean, come on, it takes a second. I really appreciate it. I really do. Like, just help me help you. So thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think about festivals. It's just, Deej says Vegas is expensive but fun. I loved going there. I really think Vegas is so much fun. And they're having their issues too. Attendance is down. A lot of people are cutting back because you just have to. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. It's out of control. However, it's true. If you don't spend it, you're going to be able to keep it. So just don't spend it. Just keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your pants. Stop. I'm so fresh today. I am fresh in the morning. See, in the morning, I'm raring to go. I've had coffee. I haven't eaten yet, though, but I am ready to go. And I'm fresh. My brain is just, all the cells are right there and they're just raring to go. Okay, let's move on. Zach Starkey. Do you guys know who that is? That's actually Ringo Starr's son, because Ringo has the last name of he's Richard Starkey, right? So Zach Starkey, a lot of drama going on with Zach the past week or so. He was the drummer for The Who and got fired. Shut up. I know. Like, how do you fire? How do you let go? I have to let you go, but you're Ringo Starr's son. How does that happen? Well, it did. It did happen. So let's go over here. Zach Richard Starkey. So he has Ringo's name. He is an English rock drummer who he's toured with The Who since 1996. What? Didn't know that. No way. So he's been with The Who a wicked long time. He's also the third drummer to have appeared with Oasis. Other musicians and bands he has worked with include Johnny Marr, the Icicle Works, the Lightning Seeds, and the Semantics. I have no idea who those people are either. He is the son of the Beatles drummer Ringo Starr, aka Richard Starkey, and Maureen Starkey. So kind of crazy, right? Well, let's dig into this. Let's share the screen. Let's go over here. Let's make sure you guys can see it. Yes, you can. Okay, so this is from usmagazine.com. And the Who guitarist clarifies Zach Starkey's current stance with the band. Some communication issues. Now, this is just from a few days ago. There's Zach. Hi, how are you? He looks angry. Does he not look angry? Looks mad. Well, he just got fired. Of course he's angry. I'd be mad. Nice hair, though. Look at that. Look at that guy in the background. He's like, I got a drink and I'm next to Ringo Starr's son. So I'm excited. And then this guy over here, he looks pissed. Look at it. Is that a man? Oh my God. But I'm going to stop right now. Let's just keep going. And then why is this girl like in a bikini jumping? And then he's like, look at, she's in a bikini jumping in the water next to me. This is for Burberry. Why is she anorexic? That's not, people don't look like that. I'm just saying. Like, I don't. I'm thick. Anyway, so let's see. The Who lead guitarist, Pete Townsend, he announced in a statement on the band's official website on Saturday, April 19th, that Zach Starkey has not left the band and is, in fact, still part of the group. He's not being asked to step down from the Who. Townsend, who is 79 years old, they always put the age, right, said, there have been some communication issues, personal and private on all sides, that need to be dealt with, and these have been aired happily. Okay, there's Brandy Glanville from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Townsend added that he and the Who lead singer Roger Daltrey would like Zach to tighten up his latest evolved drumming style to accommodate our non-orchestral lineup, and he has readily agreed. I take responsibility for some of the confusion, Townsend continued. Our TCT shows at the Royal Albert Hall were a little tricky for me. I thought that 4.5 weeks would be enough time to recover completely from having a complete knee replacement. Why did I ever think I could land on my knees? Wrong. Oh, okay. So Roger had knee replacement surgery. Oh my God. Yeah, a month is really quick, I'm thinking. You know, maybe if you're not just doing typical everyday standard things, but you're going on stage and performing a month later, that's a lot. Andy's 79, according to Us Magazine. I mean, why do they put their age like that? And then I end up saying it. They always put everybody's age, and then I end up like, oh, I didn't know he was 79. But anyways, he added, Zach made a few mistakes, and he has apologized with an S, no Z. Why? That should be a Z, right? I'm just saying. Albeit with a rubber duck drummer, we are a family. This blew up very quickly and got too much oxygen. It's over. We move forward now with optimism and fire in our bellies. Not sure what's going on. But then there was an update on April 17th. Starkey is speaking out after his apparent firing from the Who. So now we're going backwards a little bit because this article was from the 20th. And he said, I'm very proud of my near 30 years with the Who, Starkey said in a statement to People on Wednesday, April 16th. Filling the shoes of my godfather, Uncle Keith, has been the biggest honor, and I remain their biggest fan. They've been like family to me. Well, yeah, you're with guys for 30 years. Hello. Ringo Starr's son confirmed he's suffered a serious medical emergency in January. With time, he has been able to heal, and the medical scare does not affect my drumming or running. Running? Do they run? Do they run on the stage, or is running a drummer term? I don't know. After playing those songs with the band for so many decades, I'm surprised and saddened anyone would have an issue with my performance that night. But what can you do? I plan to take some much needed time off with my family. 29 years at any job is a good old run. I wish them the best. So he was fired. But then Roger, again, said it was a misunderstanding. But the original story says that The Who reportedly and allegedly fired their drummer, Zach Starkey, during an onstage incident during a show in March at the Royal Albert Hall in London. The band made a collective decision to part ways with Zach after his round of shows at the Royal Albert Hall. A representative for the band said in a statement to The Guardian on Wednesday, April 16th. They have nothing but admiration for him and wish him the very best for his future. But they fired him, and he's Ringo Starr's son. Dude, I wouldn't. So, now we're backpedaling and we're getting to the original story. So they fired him. Zach's like, I'm moving on. It's great. I'm going to spend time with the family. It's been 30 years, da da da. And then, Roger says, there's been a misunderstanding. Hold the phone, back up the truck. Zach, get in the back of the truck. We didn't mean to say that. So was there a whole thing from Ringo? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. He's Ringo Starr. He's a Beatle. He's a Beatle. He's him and Paul, the last two Beatles going. Don't mess with Ringo. Do not. I'm just saying. I mean, Ringo, I don't think he says that, but he doesn't have to. He's Ringo Starr. And let's see. Let's go over here. And let's see what happened after that. Can you see? No, you can. Okay, this is from usatoday.com. The Who reinstates drummer Zach Starkey days after firing him. It's kind of like Rock and Roll Mafia. You know what I mean? You can't do that to Ringo Starr's son. I mean, I don't know what happened. Allegedly, purportedly, I don't know for sure. Just throwing those all in there because just kind of odd, isn't it? We're firing you, but no, we're not. So The Who is just taken aback. Just days after booting him out of the band, guitarist Pete Townsend said in an April 19th statement on The Who's website that Zach is no longer being asked to step down from the band. So it was a thing, even though he said it was a misunderstanding. Clearly it was a thing. They did ask him to leave. But, this is when Pete said there have been some communication issues, personal and private on all sides, that need to be dealt with. And like I already, quoted this one, and these have been aired happily. I don't know. I have my own feelings about that. And you just got to wonder what happened behind the scenes to make him go back. What happened behind the scenes to get him back into the band, and who made the things behind the scenes happen for him to get back in the band. I don't think it was Roger and Pete. Ultimately they had to make the decision, but how? That's what I want to know. I don't know. And there's Zach right there. He's like, what? What? What do you mean I'm fired? Come on. Let me back. Dad. Excuse me, Dad. Can you help me out here? Let's see. And Zach said, according to Metro, Daltrey expressed frustration on stage during the show, saying he was having difficulty hearing because all I've got is drums going boom, boom, boom. I can't sing to that. I'm sorry, guys. Did that happen during the show at the Royal Albert Hall? Well, then it's a sound issue, right? It's clearly a sound issue. But, that's when Zach said he suffered a serious medical emergency with blood clots in my right Am I right? Bass drum calf? Oh, okay. So his leg, he had blood clots in his leg. He said, "This is now completely healed and does not affect my drumming or running." I don't know. Running is a drum term, I'm guessing. After playing those songs with the band for so many decades, I'm surprised and saddened anyone would have an issue. We already said that. We already talked about that. So, clearly when something medically happens, it's hard. You're healing, you're trying to make things right. But if the drum was loud, like, did they not have a rehearsal prior? I don't know. It's just questions you have to kind of ask. And let's see, Zach breaks his silence. But let's see. Is there anything different? Nope. Keith Moon was his uncle. Um, Nothing but our best for his future. Da, da, da. No, I don't think there's anything new that he said that we haven't already spoken about. Yep, I don't know. I don't think there's anything new in this article from Billboard that we haven't already spoken about. Yep. And this one from Variety, same thing. We've already talked about him. So interesting. And just, again, you just kind of ask the question, how do you get back in? So Scott says, I'm seeing Barry in Boston at the end of May. I'm guessing Barry Manilow at the Copacabana, hottest spot north of Havana, here at the Copacabana. Let's see. Dee says, I love Toto. He's cute like Ringo. Gina says, awesome, Kathy. I'll have to check if they're coming around my way. Fifth row, I need to see them. My piano. Got to see Barry Manilow in June in Cleveland. Good for you. And Bill says, hey, all, late to the show when I'm at work. Blah. No bueno. Just leave, Bill. Just kidding. How are you? Oh, my gosh. Singing. Barry Manilow, we had a hold when he said he was retiring and doing his final tour. Again, great stuff. Great music, and people can make fun of it and it's like cheesy pop or cheese, like it's all sad love song. Listen, that's our, like I said, this is our music. This is what we grow up to. This is what we continuously listen to. And isn't it funny how, I do think back a lot and how life was so different growing up. No cell phones, no computer. You had to rely on reading the newspaper. You had to rely on watching the evening news or listening to the radio for news in the morning. It was so different. And now, Al and I literally talked about this morning. You know about something happening before it even happens. I don't like that. I mean, I guess in some instances it's okay, but I'd rather not have it that way because it does reinforce your brain to want things so fast. Sometimes you got to just be patient and wait. So a lot of people can't do that anymore. We've lost the art of patience. And I think that was such a great thing we had growing up. Just try not to lose it. I'm trying to hold on to that. It's hard sometimes, though, because our society is not that way anymore. We need it now. We need it yesterday. Amazon. Like you could order something in the morning and have it that day, and you don't even know how. How did that happen? Because you got somebody going to a warehouse near you because now Amazon is putting up all of these warehouses across the country, and they're just going to pick it up and they're dropping it off at your house. Like what? It's insane. It's great. It's crazy. So I think, our music and all of that, just everything that came along with our music. We didn't have videos. We had to really just watch them on a TV show, midnight special. If we had variety shows like Sonny and Cher, Captain Tennille, all the things, we had to rely on seeing these artists that way. So Barry Manilow, love you, love your music. He doesn't care. He's done. He's like, I'm just going to do this and enjoy the rest of my life. And good for him. Good for him, really. I think to me, Barry Manilow will be the type of artist. He's not going to say he's retiring and not retire. I feel like that. I feel like he's not gonna. He'll do some maybe Vegas shows, or he's a Vegas guy. Yeah. All right. What's the next story here? Let's see. Gene Simmons. This is from Realtor.com. Let's go ahead and share this screen, shall we? I got to get grooving because I got something fun to share with you guys near the end of this broadcast. So this is from Realtor.com. Rocker Gene Simmons is selling his ultra-modern mansion for $14 million, but he set very strict rules for prospective buyers. Now, I did see the headline on this. I'm like, how can you're selling your house. Now, I'm still a realtor. I don't know. I'm thinking of giving that up, though, to be quite honest, because the market is so dumb. Barely anybody is selling their home. I mean, I know, of course, the high-end realtors and the very busy no, that's not true. Listen, there's barely any inventory around here. And when a house goes on the market, it's still selling pretty much as fast as the listing goes into MLS. But we're seeing the people too, as I'm looking. The people are still being unrealistic now. They're still thinking we're in 2020 where you can command, 75% more for your home than what it's worth. And that's just not happening right now. So we're in a really tricky time. I think we're going to go back to the days when I first started as a realtor, because I got in after the market crash. I got in when it was high, and then it was starting to tank and it bottomed out. Like the bottom completely fell out when I became a realtor. But I did experience a bit of that time when it was people were on the front lawn fighting to get a home. But it was quick, like 6 months after that, done. But I still remained a realtor, and I did okay back in the day. So now, and back then when the market was bottomed out, it took a good 3 to 4 months to sell a house. To me, that's normal. Selling a house in hours is not normal, but that's what we've had. So, is it still happening? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I don't think like it was a few years ago when everything was crazy. So I just don't know. It's expensive to be a realtor. It's just a different world. All the rules have changed. And you know what? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like learning all these new things you got to do. And being a buyer's agent is just so like you got to be a seller. You got to work for the seller. You got to sell the property. Anyway, enough on that. So I do remember, having some tricky sellers back in the day, long time ago. Well, I only want someone who's going to keep the house as it is to buy this house. How can you guarantee that? No one. Oh, yes, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, I can totally assure you, whoever buys this house is going to keep it intact. How can you even expect a realtor to promise you that? But there are sellers out there, and they're going to stand their ground and put their feet in the sand and just dig their heels in and say, I don't care. I want someone to promise that they're not going to change anything about this house. And how would you know? You're gone. You've left. So Gene Simmons, I guess, has put stipulations on the selling of his property. So he's letting go of his Beverly Hills mansion. And I'm guessing that's the mansion that has been in the show Family Jewels. I'm thinking, right? Let me know in the comments. But he has very strict criteria for the kind of buyer he will allow to make a play for the $14 million property. Now, also, in terms of realtor speak and all the rules and a lot of different things, I would think you can't do that. I would think that goes against a lot of different laws. in the land of real estate. So Gene, who's 75, look, they put his age right there. Why do they do that? Sometimes we just don't want to know. He bought, oh no, so I guess it's not the one from Family Jewels, because he bought this one in 2021 for 10.5 million. So him and his wife Shannon Tweed could have a residence in California after relocating to Vegas. All right, so then he sold the Family Jewels house. Let me see if any of you are saying it in the comments. I'm because now I'm confused. Tongue of Champions. Haha, that's funny. He is the tongue. So I think maybe he sold that. Maybe he sold that house. So the couple struggled with the scorching heat in Nevada and ultimately decided to put their Vegas property back on the market in favor to returning to Beverly Hills and setting up permanent residence inside their ultra-modern abode. But Gene and Shannon didn't stop their real estate spending spree, which saw them snapping up a beach house in Malibu, which they now plan to make their full-time home. So I'm guessing they sold that other house, leaving them with little use for their 7,700 square foot Beverly Hills mansion. So the property was listed at $13.99 million. It's facing a limited pool of prospective buyers, but Gene has narrowed down potential parties even more and has excluded anyone he believes will soil the happy memories him and his family have made inside of its walls. How do you know that, though? How do you know your potential buyer is going to stain the memories you've built in that home? And let's face it, anywhere we live, it's special to us and us only. It's not going to be special to other people because they haven't lived there. They haven't had their memories there. That's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, he said, you have such wonderful times there. You don't want some schmuck in the place you call home. No drugs, no alcoholics. I don't want anybody coming in here who is going to destroy the place. But how will you know that? Once you sign those papers to sell it, you have no control over what somebody can do. You really don't. Oh, so can you guys see this? Let me just make sure you can. So that's the man. That is beautiful. Holy moly. That is stunningly gorgeous. Like, it's so modern. Oh, I love that. That's really pretty. Oh, wow. Look at that. See, I love how that opens up to the outside like that. That's so cool. Very, very nice. Very pretty. So he bought that property for 10.5 million just a few years ago. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning. So 10 million, 14 million, that's 4 million profit, but you got to pay your realtor probably $1 million. I don't know what they're being charged for commission, but I mean, even if you make 1 million, that's still profit. You know, you don't want to make no millions because we know Gene doesn't like to lose money. He just wants to make it. So, provided a buyer is able to make it through Simmons' strict selection process, they will have quite the opulent pad on their hands. The property is listed by Lisa Young of Compass, and it comes with 40-foot glass-like infinity pool, dramatic drought-tolerant landscaping, and bold bronze geometric sculptures that offer a distinct artistic statement. The property was designed by Swiss architect Roger P. Curath and is made of glass, steel, oak wood, and concrete elements, which emphasize the sweeping views of the mountains, valleys, and ocean. Beautiful. It looks absolutely great. And he said, my favorite part of the house is waking up in the morning in the upper bedroom, having coffee in bed, and on a clear day, being able to see all the way out to the ocean. And my other favorite time is sunset in the upper bedroom or downstairs barbecuing something outdoors. The views are really spectacular. And he has solar power for the pool and radiant heated flooring. Like, just unbelievable. That's great. That is, oh man. Wow, look at that, just home theater. It's crazy. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we'll see if you know, Gene can get through that selection process, and good luck with that. I I I don't know how you can, well, legally and I don't know, consciously pick somebody like that to buy your house. If they're willing to pay the price, move on. Just sell it and move on. Dee says, Kiki, did you do Gina? Well, first, Gina says, where's Al? Al is doing stuff because he's got to do stuff. You know, this is our window of opportunity right now. He had to go do a few errands. Like, we need more suet for the birds, right? And he had to get there because I'm annoying him that he has to refill the suet feeders because they've been empty for 3 days and the birds are pissed. And I actually saw 2 birds this morning, like hightailing it, literally. And I'm like, why is it when I look out the window that particular second, I have to see that? And it was 2 different species of birds. Like, one was a black bird with a brown head, and she was a brown bird. So, and she was like all about it. She's like, yo, I'm on this branch. Like, come get me. And he did. Again, I hadn't even had my coffee yet. And I'm watching this take place. And then she's just like, kind of, you know what? I'm done with you. And really, it seemed like he wanted to stay and talk to her, but she's like, I'm going over there now. I see another cutie. I'm gonna go have him. I'm gonna go have him because I'm done with you. Bye. Tweet tweet. So it's just really weird. I don't know why. Why do I have to see these things? I don't know, but it just happens. I look and I'm like, oh, so he had to go do that. Anyway, Kiki, this from D, did you do anything fun for your birthday? I saw a cat was there with you, so I'm so happy she came. I know that made you and Al happy. Well, the great thing is, hi Nancy, how are you? The great thing is, Deej, is that Cat's here forever and ever now. She's moved back 1 state over to Massachusetts, which is without traffic less than an hour away. And we're just thrilled. She got a great, fabulous new job. She's starting on Monday. I will talk about that, so if you guys want to go visit her after she's in and settled, but we're very proud of her and she's back. So Kat is back. And yes, that was the best birthday present. I'll be honest. I mean, I did get some beautiful flowers from friends and Al, we spent time together. And to me, that's worth more than anything. I don't need cake because I'm not eating carbs right now. So I'm like, don't get me anything. I don't want food. I don't want any. What do I need? I need nothing. Once yard sales kick in, I'll get all of the things that I want and need from a fabulous yard sale. So I don't need things. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. I don't need things. I don't. I really don't. I like to get things cheap. I'm not cheap, but I'm cheap. You know what I'm saying? So Patty says, yay, I'm so happy for you and Al having her back. We are too. We are too. Believe me. Believe me. All right, let's get going because really, like, I got to get to this thing. You know what? I'm just going to kind of move on, I think, a little bit because, yeah, let's see. Okay, let's talk about, this is what we're going to do. We're going to skip over a couple of things. I'll talk about them next time. No big deal. No, really, honestly, no big deal. But this was kind of a big deal, I thought. Let me share this. So Peter Criss is coming out with new music. Now, again, the new music thing, I think fans will be interested in this, though, because it's Peter Criss from Kiss. So the Kiss Army, I'm sure, is going bananas. And let's see, this is from ultimateguitar.com. Original Kiss drummer Peter Criss teams up with John Five, Billy Sheehan, and Paul Schaefer. Now, are we talking Paul Schaefer from David Letterman? That Paul Schaefer? Like, I don't know which Paul Schaefer we're talking about, but I guess maybe. And they're going to do a new album. And Peter Criss has been really out of the spotlight. Let's be honest. He's been pretty quiet. But let's see. It says that he's been more than just the original drummer of Kiss. He's a musician with great rock and roll sensibility and a fantastic bluesy voice that he showcased more than once on some Kiss tracks. Did you hear that? That's the coffee. Oh my God. Now my stomach's yelling at me. Hold on. Criss has made a few solo albums in the past, but he's mostly been retired. Yeah, like you don't really hear from Peter Criss. However, he's now, I'm so sorry. My body's talking to you. I apologize. However, he's now returning with a hard rock record that will feature more than one giant of rock: John Five, Paul Schaefer, and Billy Sheehan. And if it's the Paul Schaefer from David Letterman, is he really rock? I guess. I don't know. Kiss historian Julian Gill, who's been in charge of the Kiss Fact website for 3 decades, released Chris's video message to his fans via Blabbermouth. Oh, so he released a whole video. I was wondering if he did an interview, whatever. Okay, so he said, I have an announcement. I have my new rock and roll album to you, Kiss Army Guys, coming out in the fall. And I really hope you like it, man. Got to put that in there. And I want to say God bless to you, each and every one of you. So Gill also commented on the album, noting the powerful performance each musician added to the mix. Now, this is a hard rock, kick-ass album co-produced by Barry Pointer, who's worked with Ozzy, Marilyn Manson, Fred Coury, Steve Stevens, amongst others. That's a big list right there. And of course, John Five. I was honored to listen to this album at Peter's studio with him last night. And it was absolutely amazing to hear this new music. It was vibrant and powerful. But thinking of new music, go ahead and listen to Robert Fleischman's new music. He's got a great new album. It's been out for a little bit now, but Emotional Atlas. Go to Robert Fleischman's Facebook page. He's on YouTube. Go and check it out. It's really good. And we know that Robert was involved with Kiss in a fashion many years ago. And he also worked with Vinnie Vincent. Not sure what's going on with Vinnie, but I don't know. You hear from him, then he's gone. And then he's back, and then he's gone. I don't know. So let's see. I'm so excited for it to be released, and I think Kiss fans are going to love this album. Peter's drum sound is absolutely massive, and his vocals are powerful. Barry Pointer's production is stunning, and Peter's got an incredible group of musicians and background vocalists behind him. So there's that. All right, so can we play this? Why not? Let's see. Let's try. Where'd it go?
Welcome to the Kiss FAQ podcast. I'm your host, Julian Gill, and it's my honor to present to you.
Can you guys hear that? I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear that? Hey, Fallion, how are you? Just let me know in the comments if you could have heard that so I can keep playing it. I'll do it again.
You, founding member of Kiss, Peter Criss. Peter, great to see you today.
Could you hear that? Yep. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Julian. I have an announcement. I have my new rock and roll album, to Kiss Army Guys, coming out in the fall, and I really hope you like it, man. And I want to say God bless to each and every one of you.
Now, this is a hard rock kick-ass album co-produced by Barry Pointer, who's worked with Ozzy, Marilyn Manson, Fred Coury, Steve Stevens, amongst others, and of course, John Five.
Yep. It was, what can I say? We had a ball.
All right, that was amazing, Peter. Thank you very much. You know what? I was honored to listen to this album.
So that's cool, right? I mean, again, just hearing from these guys, who haven't been out there. And that's what I think is neat, when musicians have just held back for so long and then they make an appearance and you're like, yo, that's neat, All right. So let's see. I am going to, all right. We have to talk about this too. Let me share the screen before we get into the real fun part of today. I think, I don't know. It's something I think I'm going to start doing because why not? But let's talk about this first. So Foreigner, this is from Syracuse.com Entertainment. So Syracuse, we know that Lou Gramm is from Rochester. Classic rock band to release new song with original singer. It's pretty amazing. And, the whole Kelly Hansen thing, he's been kind of, set aside for a little bit as Foreigner tours overseas and, a couple of pretty great singers have replaced him in those overseas dates. Not really sure why still, what happened with Kelly going on with that. Um, and not being able to perform there. So something underlying, still don't really know, but is what it is. And Lou has been joining Foreigner on some dates here and there. And it's just crazy because he's like, that's never going to happen. And here it is happening. And, no, he's not doing a full fledged show with Foreigner as the front man because Kelly's doing those here. But I think it is cool and have said all along, like, why would you not have Lou Gramm with you? He's out there. Like he's performing and people go see him in droves. So like it just makes sense for you to include Lou in some capability at your shows. And finally, the gods have come together and that is happening. But I guess they're going to do a new song too. So Jeff Pilson told Blabbermouth that the group's 1981 album 4 is going to be reissued this fall. It will feature Dolby Atmos remixes of the multi-platinum releases original tracks, including Urgent, Waiting for a Girl Like You, and Jukebox Hero, plus a 1982 live concert recording and a new song that original singer Lou Gramm started writing during that era. Now, Lou has talked about some songs that he has had in his back pocket since the 80s, and he never finished them. So it's interesting to me that he's going to release them with Foreigner. They got to be good because Lou is going to release them himself, and that hasn't happened. So, is it because, Foreigner's got the capabilities of being able to release a great song. They've got the following, they've got the backing, they've got the whole thing. But for them to be taking this and running with it and doing this with Lou, first of all, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. Good for Lou. Lou's such a great guy. And I think it's great for Foreigner too. Because it's such a different, Foreigner is a different animal right now. People, Foreigner's a cover band, whatever. People still go see them and their shows still sell out, so whatever. But now that they're, mixing Lou back in, bomb move. Thank you. Like crazy. Of course you should be doing that. And fans love that. And now taking one of Lou's unfinished songs or songs that have been sitting in the vault for a long time and re-earthing it, double whammy, great. How could you not take advantage of that? And let the fans have it. So I think it's all good stuff. All of it. So Jeff said, it's pretty amazing. We found an unfinished song in all the files. The song had one verse in it, and Lou had sung one verse, and he sang the chorus. And it was great, but it was only one verse. Interesting. He was mumbling the second verse. So we called Lou. We said, what do you think about finishing and singing the song? So he said, absolutely. Absolutely. And Gramm wrote and finished 2 verses, recorded new vocals for the track, and added cowbell. We have now a new old Foreigner song that will be on the Foreigner 4 release coming out September. I'm getting that. The song is called Fool If You Love Him, and it came out great. And there is Lou playing the cowbell, and he still does it today. Love it. And that's from July 9th of 1982, this picture right here. It will be Foreigner's second new song with Gramm, and a year after unearthing a 90s track he and co-founding guitarist Mick Jones worked on together. Turning Back the Time was released in August as part of a greatest hits collection celebrating the band's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but you don't hear the song. Where's the song? Nobody's playing it. Nobody's playing it. I got to go listen to it. I haven't listened to it either. I'll be honest with you. I just haven't. If anyone had sent it to us, we would have gladly listened to it and, maybe start playing it. Graham, a Rochester native who currently lives in Webster, New York, recently told Billboard that Fool If You Love Him is one of many unheard songs and unfinished demos from Foreigner's archives. Yeah, he said it. He has said it many times. There's stuff out there. For every Foreigner album, we always recorded 3 or 4 songs more than we needed, and we usually chose 10 songs, and the rest were either done or almost done, but were excellent. They fall by the wayside on times like this. There doesn't seem to ever be a lack of material. And the fact that we've got material sitting there from decades ago, from, the whole pinnacle of Foreigner is just crazy. There's stuff. Lou has said it. There is stuff. So Lou is going to share vocals with band member Luis Maldonado. And that will be in the South American concerts because current lead singer Kelly Hansen has residency issues. I still don't know what that means. Don't know. Graham, 74. They got to put his age. Why not? He just turned 74. Oh no, he's going to be 75. May 2nd, right? That's his birthday. We all know about Lou. So anyway, that's great. I think it's very cool. Very cool. Too cool for school. Love Lou. Absolutely. Midnight Blue would also be nice to hear. That's Lou's solo stuff, but that's a great song. It's one of my favorites. All right. So this is the fun part of the broadcast today. But before I do the fun part, I know I'm going to make you keep waiting. Hit the like button, guys. We're going to go over what were the top 10 songs we were listening to on the radio this week in... Can you stop popping? These pop-ups really make me nuts. This week in 1985. These were the songs that all of us were listening to on the radio, according to Billboard.com. At number 10, all she wants to do is dance. Don Henley from the Eagles, All She Wants to Do Is Dance. I'm on Fire. Very sexy song by Bruce Springsteen. Do you remember this? It's what, like a 2-minute song? Oh, I'm on fire. Girl, is your daddy home? Does he know that you're all alone? That's it's creepy, kind of. So that was at number 9. At number 8, Some Like It Hot by the Power Station, the late Robert Palmer. Sorry, he's still here. Late Robert Palmer. Some like it hot and don't sweat when the heat is on. Yeah. At number 7, you're an obsession. I cannot sleep. I am possession by Anna Motion. That was at number 7. One Night in Bangkok by Murray Head. Didn't even know that was the name of the band. That was at number 6, One Night in Bangkok. And one of my favorite songs of all time at number 5, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, from the movie The Breakfast Club, because I've seen that 5 million times. Have you? And at number 4, Night Shift by the Commodores. At number 3, my screen keeps moving, Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge. At number 2, Crazy for You by Madonna. And the number 1 song on this day in April of 1985 was, believe it or not, We Are the World by USA for Africa. Do you believe that was the number 1 song on this day in 1985? Oh my gosh, just I think one of the best collab songs ever. And, I didn't even know. Let me just tell you something. When I pick these weeks and these years, right? And because I've been doing this for a few weeks now, just doing the top 10 songs we were listening to this week in whatever year, I pick an 80s year or a late 70s year, did not know this was the number 1 song. But my little treat for you guys today is I found a very vintage interview with Steve Perry. And we all know Steve Perry was in We Are the World. I didn't know that was the number 1 song. And I was planning on sharing this little interview from 1979. So it's kind of cool how things work out. Now, I'm going to go full screen. This is from Marie T. 2's YouTube channel, and I'm going to subscribe to it because she's nice enough to let me use this video, even though she doesn't know. But we're going to listen. Now, this is not, you can't see Steve. You're just going to listen to Steve, but it's just cool. I haven't listened to it. I have no idea. I have no idea what he says. I just think it's going to be neat to hear something Steve talks about from 1979. So let's go ahead. Again, no Steve. No Steve. It's just Steve's voice. So let's go ahead. It's going to take a few minutes. It's about just under 8 minutes long. So let's take a listen. Shantwi. There we go.
Talking with Stephen Perry from Journey, I first wanted to ask you about, obviously, your effect on the band has been substantial. The band was a vocal band before that within the rock and roll realm, but you've added another dimension to that. And I think that's certainly to your credit. You know, you're right. What about when you joined the band? How did that come about?
Well, I was in Los Angeles in a group called the Alien Project. It was about to be signed to Columbia Records. And one of the members got fatally injured in a 4th of July car accident. So that stopped our whole band, really bad. We tried to replace the member, but it didn't seem to work out.
For time reference and frame,
this was about a year, and it will be 2 years this 4th of July coming up that this happened. So I truly had felt that I was ready to sort of just bail. I started to think about that seriously, and for 1 week I thought about it, and it really didn't hold very strong, though. I started slipping back into positive things about myself that I knew that were worth continuing upon, and I knew that I was good at what I was doing, so if I could just stick with it, I thought I could pull it through.
How did you get attached to the guys with Journey?
Well, what happened was, about that time, Columbia Records called me up. Don Ellis called me and said, listen, I really think you ought to give Herbie Herbert a call, which is Journey's manager, because CBS really loves the band, and they've heard your tape, and they really like what you've done. And they think that, you could add some vocal virtuosity to their already existing instrumental virtuosity, which is obvious. So I called them, and about 2 days later, I took off and met the band in Salt Lake City, where they were finishing up about 2 weeks of the Emerson, Lake and Palmer tour at that time. And this is almost 2 years ago. And I wrote Something to Hide Impatiently with Neil in Denver, immediately, quick, just real simple. So we could obviously write. We knew that right away. Just things were flowing out of us. And came back to San Francisco and wrote Feeling That Way. Greg and I wrote that one. And so things were just clicking. The click started happening. The next thing I knew, I was involved in recording and singing and working on Infinity.
It obviously was a great marriage because, as I said before, you've added just another dimension to the band already. And the style of Journey is so unique unto itself to begin with. There's nobody that does anything like you guys do.
I agree. I really appreciate you saying that, because I really feel that in a world where everybody seems to be taking a piece from so-and-so and a non-musical piece from here, a piece from there, and making what they call as a new band. When you listen to that band, you can hear where all those musical pieces are coming from. In a day and age where that's happening, I really believe that we are truly unique and different, and we aren't pulling pieces from anybody.
I mean, anybody that is in the music business takes things from their heritage from the past.
Yeah.
But that's just paying your dues and learning the craft in the first place.
I mean, I'm not to say that I don't have my past influences. I really do.
Well, everybody does.
And I'm sure that they start to show up stronger in other songs. But our influences go way, way, way back. And most groups these days, their influences are about a week ago, last Tuesday. But there are exceptions to the rule. There are some incredible groups out right now.
I have to ask you, what happened with Ainsley? Why?
That's a good question. Well, we did that Infinity tour last year, which took us about 8 months of constant touring. It really was an excruciating tour. Musically, the band is starting to change. And there were personality conflicts. I will air that, which I don't think has been aired that much ever. It seemed to be there was a great nucleus between Ross, myself, Neil, and Greg. We'd always hang out and have fun, He wouldn't hang out. It seemed like he was a little bit above all that. So now Steve Smith, enter him. He is just what the doctor ordered, because on the Infinity Tour, he was with Ronnie Montrose, and he was opening the shows. And every night we would just, love to watch him play. And then every night we would just sort of hang out.
Wait a minute. Can I just have to replay something. Hold
Well,
on.
definitely, I will air that, which I don't think has been aired that much ever. It seemed to be there was a great nucleus between Ross, myself, Neil, and Greg. We'd always hang out and have fun, he wouldn't hang out. It seemed like he was a little bit above all that.
Who wouldn't hang out? Did you guys hear that? Like who didn't hang out because he was above all that? I didn't catch who he said. All right, let's just one more time.
There was a great nucleus between Ross, myself, Neil, and Greg. We'd always hang out and have fun, he wouldn't hang out. It seemed like he was a little bit above all that.
I don't know.
So now Steve Smith, enter him. He
Ainsley
is just what the doctor ordered, because on the Infinity Tour, he was with Ronnie Montrose, and he was opening the shows. And every night we would just, love to watch him play. And then every night we would just sort of hang out. But we got to know Steve on a real hangout friendship level, because we never really thought of asking him. We weren't even thinking of getting a new drummer. So we met Steve on a friendship level. So we became buds first. That was a good premise to join the band with another fellow. All of a sudden you realize this guy you kind of liked to start with, the element that you felt was missing in the other one, that personal hangout vibe,
Yeah.
All of a sudden you find that in this guy. Plus he plays his hymns off when he plays drums,
It's obvious just from listening to the performance that he's not only aware of the old material, the new material, but he's moving with the band. He filled himself right in.
That's exactly what I was saying. You see, there's a movement there that we have to always keep going at. The very nature of the group journey is a movement concept.
Just with the name itself.
The name itself is travel. And so we want to keep all the things we've done and hold what we're doing and go for more. And that's what we wanted to do. And Steve really is right there.
Your vocal performances, and I want to get back to this for a second, because Journey is, like you said, such an instrumental virtuoso band. And yet with you and with Greg and the vocals and everything else, you go into the studio, you guys write material, and they are harmonies and more harmonies, and then obviously that has to be thought out for the live performance too, because it comes across so well live too. So you obviously plan for that ahead of time, right?
What we do is when we're rehearsing the tunes, especially on Evolution, the idea was to basically not overstep yourself. It's very easy in the studio to look at a nice multi-track machine and dream up these wonderful things. I mean, we could get into angelic vocals that would be impossible live, but we tried to keep it basically to what we were and enhance what that was, just by maybe doubling it a couple of times. But that's basically it. We don't want to overstep ourselves.
Well, I don't think you do at all. I think the live sound that you get really is and the interesting part is you change the vocals a little bit for the live sound.
Yeah, well, live.
But that's just, you have to change that a little bit just to keep your own interest. You can't sing the same thing every night.
Right. And there's a good chance that after you sing it every night, that if you had to record it over, you might have done it different.
Exactly.
Because that, you recorded it 6 months ago and it's done and it's finished, and that's the way you felt at that time. So live, you're still singing the same song, but the interpretation has a tendency to move. Which is, I can tell you, the journey thing, the travel, the move. See, the band's evolving all the time, and it evolves sometimes in slight ways. It evolves in drastic ways, but you can tell that it's always churning and moving. And as long as that keeps happening, then we're always going to be holding.
I think you guys are definitely on the move. With a future that's unbounded by almost anything. You can go anywhere and do anything at this point. I really think that. Okay, Stephen, thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll be seeing you again very shortly.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to say, Chicago, we love you very much. And we can't wait to come back and play for you, because you make us feel real good.
All right. Stephen Perry from Journey, thank you very much for Studio Jam. This is Mitch Michaels.
So good. It was just so good. You just got to Journey, like when they were just beginning. It says the interview was from 78 or 79, whichever one, but it was before the 80s hit. And You know, that's when Steve Perry was new-ish to the band, and you know, that's when they had their real brotherhood, I think, was there. But then everything changed. Everything started to change, and it took off like a rocket ship. So that came with all kinds of other things, you know, relationships and arguing and egos and substance things and all of that. So that was really during, I think, I don't want to say innocent because I'm sure they were having their fun. You know, they were taking off. They were really coming into their own. So it's just neat to hear an old interview by Steve Perry. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So hopefully we can just keep doing this. If you guys like it, I will continue to add some, you know, it might not always be Steve Perry or Journey, or, you know, we'll just find some old, fun, interesting interviews. And I didn't listen to that beforehand. I just, because I want to listen to it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. You're awesome. Give yourselves a big fat hug from Al and myself. And I hope you had a nice Easter last weekend. I hope the weather is fabulous where you are. And if it's not, I hope that the sun comes out, because the sun's going to come out tomorrow, probably. And get outside, have some fun, and just be happy. So, guys, I love you, love you, love you. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys. You are the best. Have an awesome day.